Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Tifosi Time. This is episode 107 of your favorite Serie A podcast. The band is back together. There's four of us. And welcome to the show that Max Allegri will be proud of. It's a fine-tuned machine. Say hello, fellas.
Hey, happy Halloween.
No, that's right. It's Halloween. Very good. I'm Frank. I'm here with Chris, Dan, and Pietro. And we got a lot of stuff to BS about. So where do you guys want to start?
Do we? I feel like there's not a lot to talk about.
I mean, I pretty much just want to rant about Juventus. I don't care about the rest we talk about.
Yeah, but I'm over that, man.
There's a shock, but there was actually a lot. I mean, with the Champions League, we didn't talk about the last round of the Champions League.
No.
And then this weekend there were some upsets, so we can.
I do want to compliment the two hosts that kept the show going while Dan and I couldn't be on. I thought it was one of the more coherent shows, so I don't know what that says about me and Dan, but it was an easy listen.
Thanks, appreciate it.
It was like listening to Delilah at night on 106.7.
At least we know Pogba is not going to go to.
All right, so wait, we have to promise if we start with Juventus, we talk about him, and then that's it. We're not going to go back to him 1,000 times.
I can't keep that promise.
hope he can do the return of the.
All right.
All the games. It's something for you.
So wait, Dan, before we commit to that, are you saying, why did you say that? Because we have so much other stuff to talk about?
No, because we always go back to them and it gets very confusing.
Yeah, I'll do dealer's choice. We could leave it at the end or we could start with it. I don't care.
Let's start with them. Before talking about all these injuries where he's talking about Pogba and all this stuff, I think we have to start with, and it's a little old, but you probably heard this from other people, but the Champions League fiasco where they did not get out of the group stage. Let's start with that.
It's old news, but good news. Goody. It's a goodie. So
I feel like one of us guaranteed us getting out of that group, and his name starts with a P.
Oh, did you guarantee them getting out of the group, Pietro?
He didn't guarantee, but he was very confident they were going to get out.
But that's how he always is. He's always confident every week. He picks them 3-0 winners, 2-0 winners, and all that. So I was working and I saw the text. I didn't go back and actually watch the game when I saw that they got their asses handed to them. They were down 4-1 at one point. Yeah, so they needed to beat Benfica. And it's not that you just lose to Benfica, whatever. Like, I can accept a loss if you play, if you try and you play. But the way that they lost was disgraceful. And how the coach does not get fired 3 seconds after that game is my biggest issue, even though we know that he wasn't going to get fired. But, like, when you have a team react to a huge game like that and they put up that stinker, that's my issue. The players don't like you. They're not trying. So it's frustrating to see from a Juventus fan.
Agreed. I mean, I think from everything that I've read about the game, like, the way they showed up or didn't show up, like, that's different than losing and playing a good game. Like, it just shows that they're not fighting for you to keep their job, for you to keep your job. Like, to me, that screams a team that wants their coach fired.
Yeah, I mean, if you go a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, whatever it was, when they were playing the second leg against Real Madrid, and they came back, scored 3 goals, it's a totally different way they approached the game and gave you heart. This was embarrassing. The way
and this is like usually the Juventus team. They think they're good, all of them. Right now, we see like the player, they themselves, they don't think they're up to the occasion.
Well, they should.
Yeah.
Like they all, like, if you look at their face, it look like they're scared.
Yeah, they look like they don't even want to play.
Listen, there's a clear difference between how the kids enter the game in terms of motivation and how the supposed stars, the established players, approach the game. Like, the guys that are veterans approach the game like they're there, like 75% effort, like they're out of shape, like they expect to lose. They don't have confidence in the tactics. Like, and the kids, at least, they don't know any better, right? They're just trying to, like, prove that they belong on the field. So at least they're getting heart until Allegri can ruin them.
With this year, just what we can say, they're not prepared.
Yeah.
They're not. Because, if they play like that, what reason you can give it?
Yeah, agreed. And I also think though, like this is weird because this is like still the Champions League. You're still playing on one of the biggest teams in Europe. Like you're still on TV, and just to show up with like no personal motivation to like not play like crap, that's a problem. I've never seen that on Juventus across the entire team. Like we've had bad teams before where we've had players like Andrade and people that didn't belong there, but everyone always tried. Like this is just like practice speed they play.
I tell you, going back when we had a bad team, like when you had to buy Freddy, maybe you guys should remember. But I think that team was better than this.
Well, this is one of the worst teams Juventus has ever had.
I think this is the worst.
You know, this is now we have good players on the team that are playing the very worst that they can play, but as a collective, this is one of the worst teams from a motivation, from a preparation standpoint, for how they play together, the tactics. Like it. Do you guys remember a worse team?
No, I mean, we're kind of. They've won a lot since we've been around. So but
listen, we've criticized them when they won, right? We criticized Capello when he used to win 1-0. We criticized Allegri the first time he was the coach because we said they didn't have a play. But this is like really bad.
We had to play it.
Yeah,
at least now we don't have even to play it.
Well, I think the one good thing that you could take out of this is I think what you said, Frank. Like the young kids are actually getting a chance now.
Yeah, but the young kids, they're there by mistake.
Yeah, they're forced.
It's not because.
Yeah, no, I agree, but they're getting a chance though.
So Dan, do you think the chance will continue? Do you think this is just it won't, right? Like it'll just like, oh, we have no other options, and then like when the old guys come back, we're gonna put them right back in. Like, how long does it take to see that Quadrado's done, that Bonici's done, right? Like the guys that are not injured, he still plays, even though they shouldn't play. Like,
Fagioli before the goal, he was ready to change in general to change the team.
I would too.
Yeah. Now maybe they decide to keep it. The question is, will you make him play or not?
You know what it reminds me of? Like, I don't know, if this just happened with us, but in high school, like when one kid would score a goal that was random and on the varsity team, and then they'd be like, he's playing the entire rest of the season. Like, you shouldn't do that. Like one goal, like, oh, he's great in world class now. Like, it's so stupid.
It's so true. And Fagioli was somebody that, again, like last year, he got more consideration. I felt like in preseason that he did now after having a great year and coming. I don't know. He just, we can keep going back to every decision they make. I honestly cannot think of any reason Allegri's still here except for that clause that supposedly I heard of that if they don't make the Champions League and something else, they can get out of the contract without paying him at the end of the year.
I don't know about any clauses. I think it's them being cheap and there's no other options right now.
I don't think that's a clause.
That's what I heard.
Contract. That's a dumb.
They had a 2-year opt-out if for certain things were.
I just saw something on TV, right? In Italy, pressing. They talk about. They started to say for Allegri, yes, 11 injured. That's not the problem.
Mm-mm.
The problem is Amont. In the beginning, when you start to make the team, when you start to make those decisions, to say the Bala, we don't need you, and get the Maria. That's the problem.
Everything. Give Rovella away so you can get Paredes.
As the main case, not taking consideration in Manchester, this guy didn't play at all.
Listen, that's why I don't think it's just a get rid of Allegri. I think they have to get rid of the management too.
Then I don't understand why you get rid of Bentancur and Zakaria. This team is still where they could help.
Yeah, but
nobody wanted.
I was ready to move on from Bentancur because we needed money. But
Zakaria, you want to give 1 year.
Yeah, Zakaria we gave 6 months to, and he played half the games.
You want to give 1 year, Zakaria.
And then what?
Dude, but that's partly. That's why Zakaria is a prime example why people aren't going to come to this team anymore.
Yeah,
because they're going to see that and be like, "Fuck you."
Well, that and Rovella.
Now you got this guy Paredes. He don't even play. He's injured. What's going on?
He sucks.
So, can we run down the list of injuries real quick?
Sure.
They play PSG, which means nothing in the middle of the week.
No. Another things before press to PSG. Did you see with the Lecce we won 1-0, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you see that play when Lecce missed that goal for second and Danilo did the design cross?
Yes.
It's a virtue now all over.
Juventus did beat Lecce 1-0. It was a terrible game.
It was a terrible game.
Lecce did hit the post really, really late in the game. They could have tied it up. I didn't see anything good out of that game. People were saying, "Oh, they won, whatever." I don't give a shit. They played terrible. It was not a fun game to watch. But the injuries that they have, Pogba, who just got re-injured, Chiesa's out, we know, Di Maria, Vlahovic, Paredes, Bremer, De Sciglio, Danilo, Rugani, Locatelli, McKennie, Ake, Kaya George, and Illing Jr. now. That's
But I don't understand.
insane.
And the last one, Illing.
Yeah,
Illing Jr.
Did they beat the shit out of each other at practice? Like, what are they doing?
I don't know. It's terrible. Like no other team has this many injuries.
And this all these people, all these injured, that tell you something about the preparation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
coach.
deeper than Allegri. To me, it's Allegri's got to go top of the list. The physio's got to leave. Right, whoever's preparing the team physically, they got to go because our team doesn't run and they get injured.
The chefs.
The guys who, the chefs, because McKennie's about 15 pounds overweight. They all got to go. The guys picking the players.
Now, I also think part of this too is because the World Cup is in a couple of weeks and people are trying to take it very, very. Like Vlahovic, I'm sure if it was not the World Cup coming up, he would be playing. Like I think people are being very, very cautious with.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, I don't want to get hurt right before the World Cup.
But that also speaks.
Yeah, but one thinks about the World Cup. If you think, they think who's the team that has more player in the World Cup?
Italy.
Juventus.
I don't know why.
Yes, 12 player in the World Cup.
Ew.
So
Why?
what happened? All the other team they have a less player. They're going to have a beautiful practice in 2 months. They can practice easily.
It doesn't. The season's over. It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Napoli, the preparation that they did. They stay in Naples. They stay in there.
Okay.
They did the
Napoli's
preparation.
good.
Listen, I want Napoli to win the whole damn thing. I really.
Can we realistically? What is your goal for Juventus the rest of the season?
Listen, I think they suck ass, but I do think mathematically they're still within fourth place.
But so you think there's
Different
a chance?
Well, mathematically, they're 5 points behind the third place
But
team.
okay, mathematically, yes. Do I think they have a chance? No.
No, not unless a lot changes.
Christopher, better we are, right? You are 5 points from the second place.
Great.
5.
Yeah, that's
They're
what I
not
just
making
said.
up 5 points.
That's pretty crazy.
Wow, what are you talking about?
No, it's tons of time to make up 5 points.
But
Now,
it is.
Never mind Naples, because I think Naples is gone.
No, I think Naples. Hopefully they
But
win.
the
I'm rooting
rest,
for them. I
they're
want them to
all
win
the-
it.
But here's a better question. Now that they're out of the Euro Champions League, they have to make it to the Europa League first of all.
I don't think they will. What do they have to do?
They
Beat
have to.
PSG?
No,
They
they
have
will
to.
if you don't lose 7-0.
Yeah, they have to lose like 7-0. Or I mean, if Haifa Maccabi, if they get a point, then they're through.
If they get a point, right? So
Yeah.
there's no Benfica's not motivated by anything.
No, exactly. They could just totally tank the game and have them go through. But
Honestly, I'd rather them not go to the Europa League. I
even
don't
with the
even care
money
at
though,
this point.
Frank, like they
Well,
need.
maybe the money is the only reason, right?
So
Why not, Frank?
Because I'd rather them make fourth.
We don't improve.
Because I'd rather them make the
We're going
third or fourth place somehow and get into the Champions League next year.
So
Because the problem is, are you going to get another coach to come to this team if they're not in the Champions League? If they have no money,
not a
like
big
who's
one.
going to come?
If they do,
About money, they're about money. They still at the paper is like they look about Conte. They say they promise Conte Milinkovic, Savic, and Bastoni.
How?
let's make these promises.
Oh, you have to
Very
slice the
outline.
money if they want to.
Yeah, if they can go more in debt.
It's the old team that has the money.
Listen, I also heard the same rumors that said they're thinking about potentially, Alexandro getting freaking renewed. So
No.
at a lower,
No, come on.
But we have an entire summer to talk about transfers. What's more close coming is the Europa League. Do you actually see them trying in that tournament if they do get in there?
If they're in it, they're going to try. But the thing is, they're not good. You know how I see them trying in it? If he played the young kids. If he played 4 or 5 young kids from the beginning in that, maybe they win a couple games. But if they play the same old losers, they'll lose in any given round.
If they play with young kids, we have a chance to see them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
If we can move up on the roster.
But if you think Bonucci and Quadrado are going to get motivated for the Euro League, they don't give a crap.
Rovella should come back.
Is he available?
And you know what? I hope Zakaria come back too in January. Zakaria will show his good.
He might.
But not with Allegri, because Allegri won't play him.
No, with seeing his options, he might.
But is Rovella has a chance to come back too in January?
No, he's still good.
I haven't heard
He's
that.
still good.
But why would Monza give him back?
Well, it's ours.
Yeah, but is that part of the deal? Like, do they have a
No,
recall
it's just a
option?
prestito. We just learned for free.
I know, but do we have a recall option middle of the game?
Sure.
Year. Sometimes it's a
It's
whole
ours.
1 year. Yeah, but
They did it for 1 year.
Whatever. I mean, I don't see. I think the Europa League's hard. First of all, like there's good teams that are going to be in there.
Candasso is ours too.
He's not coming back. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
He's not coming back this season.
But to Dan's question, right? The Europa League, like if I thought the young kids were going to get a chance to play in important games, then yeah, great. But if I have to go watch midweek games with Quadrado and Chiellini and Sandro to play mediocre, I could save the extra 2 hours of watching the game midweek, honestly, and let them put more chance to try to get top 4.
The winter is ours too. I mean, you say we don't have nobody. We have all this player. If you just imagine all this player with a nice coach, a good coach,
yeah,
believe in young people.
I think with a different coach, I think we have a decent amount of young players. Are they all going to be stars? No.
I mean, we're not going to win the championship next year. Maybe in 2-3 years, you're going to be good.
But I think with those young players playing in a good system, like playing well, in shape, and running, with and then you throw in like a Chiesa and a Vlahovic and a Bremer in key spots.
Right.
I think you come in top 4 guaranteed.
Yes, a Vlahovic and Bremer, you can keep them.
But
in you can keep it too.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That's what I mean.
Get another goalie from Carnasecchi.
You get Carnasecchi and have Perrin. Yeah, that's what I would do if I was them. Rabiot, Sandro, I would all these guys. I would try to make the like wage like 1/10 of what it was last year. I would have guys playing for $100,000 with a coach that knows how to grow them.
Locatelli can stay too.
Yeah, Locatelli's 23.
Again, that's further down the line. I don't think you're going to see major changes in January, but we'll see. They really do need to get healthy, though. It's not fair to really.
I do feel bad for Pogba for the World Cup.
It sucks, but at the same time, if you're France, like, do I want an unhealthy Pogba? I got to know the midfielders.
Frank, I think it's better if he help himself and get good. It's better not to go on the World Cup.
I think Pogba, honestly...
Because if you go on the World Cup and get another little injury, we lose for the whole year.
I think Pogba's we got a 4-year deal with him or 3?
That's at least 4.
I think unfortunately, we signed up for 4 years of this. Pogba playing 15 to...
But this is
4 years, 4 years, 3 years.
I think it's 4. Is it 3 or 4? I don't know. But that's been his history lately. All the years has been hurt a lot.
That's the thing. So I think we're going to have a Pogba who plays 15 to 20 games every year. And that's what you get. So
that's why
that's why we didn't want him. Yeah, but I'm saying this is why we didn't want him, right? And Di Maria, it's freaking hilarious because when we were saying don't get him, the guy just wants to go to the World Cup and wants to play in Argentina. Now that he's played 3 games, basically, he's like, hey, can I go to Argentina in January? Like, that's come out again. Let him go.
He denied that. That's not
he denied it. It's true. Get the fuck out.
When we took the Maria, the people that were saying this guy is going to play not to injure himself because thinking on the World Cup. He don't even did that.
I mean, are they even going to take him to the World Cup?
He doesn't even play that.
They are going to take him? He hasn't played in like 3 months.
He'll be on the team.
Like, as a Juventus fan, I would much rather watch Sole play the last half of the season than than Di Maria.
Yeah, you got to hope he leaves. Go ahead, go.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but as Juventus, somebody's got to take charge and go, this is the direction we're going in. And no, we're not giving the white flag. We're going to try to make the top 4, but we legit think we have a better chance with these young kids. And if we don't make it, at least the young kids get a half a season to prove what they're worth instead of trying to get there with guys that suck anyway and they're old and they're past their prime. And we're probably still not going to get there because they showed you how much motivation they have.
You know what they said? Instead of to get a Paredes, why they didn't try Fagioli before first?
No, duh. We all said that.
If they would have tried, say, why do we need the Fagioli for?
We all said that. We said that. We said beginning of the season said I don't want Paredes. I want to keep Ravella. Like we all said that.
I can't talk about this team anymore.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. They have a huge game actually this weekend, which we'll talk about.
They have three games before the World Cup break, and 2 of them, they're all hard games, actually. They could lose all of them.
Sunday, we have Inter.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that. But let's go to the Champions League teams who actually performed and did really, really well and are going to advance, most likely. Napoli's through. Inter is through, which is huge because they had a different – Milan's almost. They need a point, basically, to get through. But if you would have said 3 out of the 4 Italian teams make it to the next round of the Champions League, you would have took that, right?
Well, yeah. Well, it's funny because when they had the draw, right, we said, "Oh, look, like Juventus got one of the easier draws, right?" And all the other teams ended up making it.
Yeah.
But the great surprise was Naples.
Naples has been by far the best team in the league.
All of us, we didn't put him.
We didn't.
On the fourth.
But not just for the league, though. Frank is right. For the Champions League, there's been no better team in the entire Champions League.
They've been very.
You know what? All the great coach like Klopp, things like that. They all say good things about Naples.
Klopp said that they could win the entire thing the way that they're playing. Which
they didn't lose nothing.
Listen, the way they're playing right now. They could absolutely win Serie A and the Champions League. The question is, can they play 2/3 more of a season like this?
Yeah, they do.
I hope they do. I'm rooting for them.
I think they do. You know why they do? I do because you see, they have the roster good. Whatever come in, he played good.
I think they're going to win Serie A this year. I think there's no team that's going to chase them down for Serie A. So even if they lose 1 or 2 games here or there, I still think they're going to win. And for a Juventus fan, I'm rooting for them. I know that's weird. I think we all are, right? Because they deserve it.
When you see the other options, and plus they play the best style. Like you like, it's fun watching them play. Kim is one of the best defenders I've seen. And so I don't know if you guys like watch him when he actually plays. Like I make sure to like actually watch him like one-on-one, like when he's defending. He's fast. He's strong. He can play the ball.
The question: when do we say we didn't put them on the festival team because they lost to Koulibaly?
We didn't know these players. I didn't know Kim. Insigne, they lost.
Insigne. Yeah. And we thought we didn't have people to replace that. Instead, the people they haven't there to replace. They prove us wrong. That's why they get good.
I don't even know if they proved us wrong. I didn't even know the players.
Yeah, it's not like I was saying, Kvaratskhelia was a bad signing. I didn't know the guy. So
the thing is, I will give it credit, even though they're good players. Like Spalletti's done a great job getting them all to play together at a high level in a short amount of time. You know what I mean? Like they started playing good from week 1. They just met each other.
But it's called coaching. They all know their roles.
Yeah. So there was that element too. Like, okay, even if you get good players, they have to usually get involved. They have to get in playing with the team. They just all jumped in and they were like, yeah, it's like we've been playing together for years.
They're having fun.
They had just one question mark. Merit could not be like Ospina. Even the Merit now is a beautiful.
Merit. Hopefully they stop trying to find a replacement.
But before, in the beginning, they were asking themselves, is a Merit to be like Ospina? Merit is going to stay now.
No.
Because now he has some confidence.
He always had the potential to be better than Ospina. It's just he never did it. The potential was there. He's an international goalkeeper. Like it's not shocking.
You know what I see that could spoil all this thing if they would incur to the injury that Juventus had.
No, I actually
Rob
think there's
13
something
people.
else. I actually think out of all the World Cup break, even though you're saying Juventus has all these players going, I think the team that has the most to lose with this World Cup break is Napoli. Because they're playing so good.
See,
You
the
don't-
Napoli has a tool.
I don't care about, I'm not talking about the players that go to the World Cup. I'm talking about when you're playing this good,
Yeah,
you don't
to
want
stop.
2 months off. Like, you want to keep playing.
Yeah, but let's for what we saw, right? There was the question to say, right now, never mind the championship in Italy, who can beat them?
No, I don't think anybody.
Who's better than them?
I mean, in a
Nobody.
one-on-one game, you could always lose a game, but I think over the long term, none of the other teams are close.
It's not going to come down to 3 points. I don't think. Like they'll
Yeah.
be up by 6, and they lose one. Who cares?
But this break is like the worst, and again, this is the conspiracy theory. Just thinking about bad luck for Napoli, like because they always find a way to lose it. Like out of all the years the World Cup has to happen, and it happens the first time ever in the winter. Wouldn't it just be Napoli's luck to have a 2-month break where all of a sudden people fall a little bit out of shape, they come back a little slow, and next thing you know, like that 2 months where they could have been winning games and running through people 5-0, 4-0 every game, like is flushed down the toilet as they're waiting for the World Cup break to happen.
But they're still going to train and they have friendlies and stuff. So it's
They
not
are,
like,
but it's not the same though. That's what I'm saying.
every team's going to deal with it.
It's a
Everything-
wild card. It's a wild card. Yeah. I mean, the game that they just won in the Champions League, Simeone could have had 4 or 5 goals. He ended up with 2, and he's their third striker.
Simeone's a perfect example, though. We saw him play on Verona, right? And we were like, this guy's pretty good. He
bounced around from Fiorentina, Cagliari, Verona, and now he goes to Napoli, and he's one of the best strikers in the world.
But he was one of the type of forwards that Juventus back in the day would get, right? They wouldn't have all stars. They would have a sub like him on the bench that would come in and he would score his 12 goals in a season. As 15 goals because he was a good, with the team played decent. And now you see him on Napoli, like when he's getting a ton of chances, the guy can score. He's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
He's better than Kane.
100%.
He's not $38 million.
No, they got him for $2 million loan and then a
$2 million loan
option or some shit like
That's
that.
what I'm saying. So yes, Allegri stinks, but at a certain point, these people that made these decisions, like they burned money.
Yeah, but
like they
part of
need to
that
be
is
fired.
Allegri. He's helping making those decisions.
He's picking it, then that's even more reason to be like.
Well, that was one of his stipulations taking the job was he was going to have more input. So
yeah, well then they should send him a bill for these people.
Why do you think Paredes is on the team?
Yeah, Paredes, I know he wanted a lot, but
Pogba, he wanted Pogba so bad.
Yeah, but so does anyone? So does everyone? I mean, I think we all agree Napoli by far has been the class of the league.
Yes.
I mean, if they play Liverpool tomorrow, I think, Chris. I don't know if it's tomorrow or Wednesday. It doesn't really mean anything for them other than to solidify first.
Yeah, but
place.
don't be surprised if they go there and win.
No, I agree.
I think it's
tomorrow,
important. I think it's important they do that.
Oh, Wednesday, I think.
I thought Milan and Juventus played.
No, I thought Juventus was Wednesday. How do we not know the schedule? We suck. But anyway, it's a game where they can go like kind of carefree, and it doesn't really mean much. But I still think you're going to see a great performance from them. And Liverpool's scared of Napoli.
Tomorrow they play tomorrow at 4.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that, even though
Napoli.
It's going to be an awesome game.
I think it's important they go and win. I don't think you want to give any teams any doubt that this was a fluke. I think you go, you win, you keep the good times rolling.
The morale they have, the morale is high. So wherever they go, they play to win.
That's what I'm saying. They should.
They've won 12 games in a row total, I think. Who they just beat this weekend, which was another kill. They destroyed. What they went 4-1. They beat Sassuolo.
Yeah.
Osimhen's back scoring goals. Krava scoring, assisting. They're just unstoppable. They scored in the 3rd minute. The game was over after 3 minutes.
Listen, I remember the Champions League game I saw a couple weeks
weeks ago. Like, to me, all those players played good, but Lobotka played one game that was amazing. Like, better than
versus Ajax.
Yeah, versus Ajax. Like, he did more in the midfield than we've gotten entire groups of midfield to do for Juventus.
And he's still doing it. That wasn't just like a one game. That's every game.
So they have a good team, and they're playing well. They're playing carefree. They're having a good time, and I think you want to keep the good times going. Just keep winning.
They're just really fun to watch. I hope it keeps going. Then you go over to Inter, who surprised people and make it out of the group, and Barcelona, like Juventus, is out of the Champions League in the group stage.
Well, two similar teams, right?
Yep.
Holding on to old people.
Yep, it's just spending.
Barcelona, I don't see. I would put him out Piquet.
Yeah, but I'm saying similar kind of thing, right?
It's like Bonucci.
He's like our Bonucci. Exactly. Same kind of philosophy, though, as a team, right? Like, we need names. We need older.
They play young kids.
They
Barcelona.
do.
Yeah, but
I know Piquet.
It's the same thing. It's like they're holding on to like what their former glory is when like they should really just do a rebuild,
what I don't understand from Barcelona. They don't play too much De Jong. Yeah,
I know De Jong, and people want De Jong, and they won't get rid of him.
They don't play,
and then they don't play him. So they have so much. Kessie never plays for that team. That's a guy who dominated last year.
Play a lot.
No, that's what I mean. The way they do things is just wrong. They need to rethink.
It's like Juventus.
Yeah. Anyway, they're going to be sitting in the Europa League, which is a little crazy. But good for Inter to get through to that group. They did win this weekend too. What they win 2-3-0.
3-0. Yeah.
Who'd they play again, Chris?
Samp.
Yeah. Which I think we all picked them to beat Inter.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. I didn't see that bad, Sampdoria.
They lost 3-0. What did you see good from them?
Did you see him good?
What did you see good from them?
Not that bad to go in Serie B.
Oh, I think they're terrible.
Samp is always one of those teams at the winter break, they'll buy people and they'll be better.
They always manage to save themselves and go up 2 spots or something.
But you saw Barella score again. Lukaku's hurt again, so he's going to be out. He was just coming back, and now he's hurt. This is one of those where I think they're saving him for the World Cup. Like, he just doesn't want to be hurt for the World Cup, so he's just not going to play for Inter. But that's big for Inter not to continue to have him. A solid win for them, but more importantly, they're weak. They made it to the next phase of the Champions League.
That's huge for them and Inzaghi, because at one point they were calling for his job, so that's like pretty good.
For Inter, besides all the players, they start to play together. The lack of Inter where it was. And they don't even know.
Brozovic getting hurt.
Put it together.
Çalhanoğlu and Mkhitaryan.
That's why I find these two people, to me, they don't made Brozovic missing.
Yeah.
And now they think they hope he can play with Juventus. I don't think he started Brozovic. If he starts, it's better for Juventus.
Brozovic, are we collecting old people?
Yeah, he's a great player, but I don't want him. That's not
collecting old guys.
That's not the direction I want to go in.
And go young.
It's great for Inter to be able to have the luxury of not having to rush him back, because they have Çalhanoğlu who can play there, and they have other people who can step in. So it's just making Inter that much stronger for the second half of the season.
2 guys they got for free.
Mkhitaryan and Çalhanoğlu, yeah.
And this is what I talk about for coach. When they fix a team without know. Remember they bought Aslan to take Brozovic when he's injured.
Aslani, yeah.
And now they discover Çalhanoğlu. They should think before. Now, a little bit, if you manage to get to be a little bit okay, it's not because of leg, it's because the exigence, he has to play young people.
Well, can we just
get bad?
Well, yeah, we said that, and even Allegri's so dumb. Like, no offense, I like Gotti. I think he can become a good player if he gets in form. The guy hadn't played, and he decides to play him in the Champions League game.
How long is he supposed to play?
Yeah, but
he
he's
prefer Rugani.
But he right in every game except the Champions League, he puts Gatti in, the guy who hasn't played. It's like, are you trying to set them up to fail?
Well, now he's hurt, so it's gotta. Rugani's hurt, so
Rugani's hurt.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, it just is no rhyme or reason. And sometimes coaches do get lucky because so and so gets hurt, and the sub comes in. It's this young person, this other person who plays better.
Because do you know any? I saw Ealing play under Primavera, sometime under 23, but he never impressed me like he impressed me those few minutes.
No, listen, Ealing Jr. was forced into dressing. The guy would have never played if there was no injuries. He never even want to put a jersey on.
No, I saw him play under 23 or Primavera. He never impressed me like he played this 10, 15 minutes in the first game.
But look, there's a perfect example. Like, he has Moretti and he has Fagioli on the team, but he still starts McKennie. And
how are we talking about this team again?
Because it's a team I watch the most.
What are you talking about?
I mean, every other team is doing well. Juventus is the only.
What do you have to talk about? You say Napoli is good, Juventus is bad. Let's close.
But yeah, I don't want Inter to do well.
Still, when you pass to talk about Milan, did you see Torino Milan?
Well, that's where we're going to go to next. We're going to go to Milan, who
I don't know. People you conduct, it's squeech. If it's a time to talk about Juventus.
Well, so Milan, we're sticking with the Champions.
Well, Juventus. We talk Juventus because you like Juventus. We don't like what they do.
I'm sure we'll get another segment out of them. So Milan being the other Champions League team who hasn't clinched a spot, but really just need 1 point, I think.
Who are they playing?
They play Salzburg. Salzburg.
No, who are they playing? Salzburg?
I think Salzburg, who they're fighting with the spot. So they get a point from there. They should be okay. But they did have a huge upset this weekend against Torino. They lost 2-0?
I don't know if it was really a huge upset. I think it was the anti-Frank made a bet on the show because, like, Torino was totally the type of team that would always bet for, right? Because of like Juric and everything. And then I'm like, oh, screw it, I'm gonna go Milan 2-1.
Well, that's the thing, but like Torino never scores 2 goals, and they get
Torino. The Milan that scores goal at Torino wasn't a goal.
No,
it was a foul.
Well, but also Milinkovic-Savic, how many goals?
Well, what do you want to go?
How many goals is he going to give away to teams?
But that was a foul, right? I wasn't crazy.
It was a foul. He pushed him with both hands. That guy.
How was that? And how did? Okay, so how did they go to VAR for that and decide we don't have to look at it?
VAR, that's the problem. VAR will never come back. He said,
that's what I mean. Don't even come back and look at it. Like, doesn't to me that
the linesman shouldn't see.
Right. Like, for VAR to say, come look at this at least, like, to me, that's weird.
The crappy part is now Juric is gone for a game because he's got a red card.
Right. And it's like, well, Juric,
he gets red carded every game.
He does. I mean, look, I think that thing where he fought with his own president or whoever it was in preseason, I like him as a coach, how his team play, but he's got to learn to, like, calm down and not get kicked out of every game.
He's got a temper, man.
He's got a temper. But Juric, yeah.
No, but he wasn't right. You know why he wasn't right? You know what he was right? Because they had the television in there. They saw it's far.
Yeah.
So why the VAR didn't look?
But that to me, they should investigate the VAR, because if your job was to sit there, you're telling me, like, how does that not look like you're in favor of Milan in that situation? When you go, no, I mean, he clearly pushed his hand. We've seen people call penalties for that. Yeah. They almost, do you remember when they looked at VAR called back a goal that I think Juventus scored because they said Vlahovic pushed the guy in midfield for a header, and then like 40 seconds later, Juventus scored? Do you remember that one?
I'm sure it's happened.
Vlahovic jumped up in midfield with the defender and pushed him, and the ball went over, and then we got the ball, crossed it, and scored. And they were like, "Oh, there was a foul up there." They took it back.
No, but that's to say the VAR is good because they say protocol when you can come. Protocol television.
The bigger issue
come in.
The bigger issue for this one is, like, you don't even need VAR for this.
Yeah.
Like, what were we looking at? You know, like, so that's the frustrating part. But
did you see the other team? Lazio lost today. lost
Yes.
Lazio.
Yeah.
Milinkovic Savic, he had the ball dribbling. He touched the ball. So when he touched the ball, he touched the defensive foot.
Yeah, he got a yellow card.
He gave a yellow card.
And now he's suspended.
Now
he's suspended for the next game because he got 5 yellows. I think the bigger issue for Milan this week was Leao was terrible. And he missed a couple of easy chances.
Missed the 1-2 shot.
Yeah, and he does that every once in a while. It's like you want to be the best player in the league, but
a cross that he swung and missed.
Yeah, Krava is not missing those. At least he's not blasting it wide like you do. You don't even hit the net on that. So
maybe he's trying to get sold to Juventus.
No. He has a problem right now because of the contract. Because there is a team that will pay him
it's a tough spot.
$9 million.
Pioli just got an extension today for 2025, I think. He's not going anywhere. But that was only their second loss, I think, of the season. But it was a big loss because they did 3 points, 3 more points.
I'm just glad that Torino didn't get stole. I'm glad that Milan didn't score another goal and then they would have lost points to it. They didn't deserve that goal. Was not a goal. It was a foul.
Yeah. The other teams in the Europa League and the Conference League all won, which I don't, like I said, we haven't really been talking about them a lot, but the one that stood out for this week was Lazio losing 3-1 to Salernitana, which they had a 1-0 lead. Zaccagni scored, and then 3 unanswered goals for Salernitana.
I didn't see this game. I kind of wish I did.
No, Frank, you have to watch Kondreva's goal.
Kondreva scored a beautiful goal.
Okay.
He scored a beautiful goal. And then, they hit posts and stuff. Lazio had some chances, but Salernitana was more clinical. Lazio hadn't given up a goal in, I think, 600 minutes or something like that. 620 minutes. So for Salernitana to get 3 goals against them, there was a short week for Lazio because they had the midweek game. And Salernitana's won 4 games in a row.
This week is the week that went to favor Juventus. If you think about it,
they jumped up.
3 points for Milan, 3 points for Lazio.
Yep. Didn't Atalanta? What did Atalanta?
Udinese tie.
They won.
Udinese tie. So in other words, we done good. 5 points from the second.
Yeah.
If they would have given us the 2 points with Salernitana, it would have been 3 points.
I forgot about that Salernitana game.
Yeah.
We're not good.
But, that's a big loss for them. But Salernitana is not a walkover. They're not they're the easiest team in the world. But Kondreva's goal was beautiful, Frank. You should watch it.
I have it on right now. I'm watching it.
Yeah. All right, Chris, you want to run around the rest of the games from this weekend and we'll talk about it?
Sure. We talked about those. Atalanta won 2-0 versus Empoli. I don't know if you guys want to mention anything there.
I will mention Vicario saved the penalty shot. He's saved 3 in the last 2 years. That's the most in the league. He's my favorite goalie. I'll say that every week.
3 in the last 2 years is the most?
Him and Szczesny are the top most penalty saves in the last 2 years.
Let's hope
how old is Vicario?
He's young.
Because Vicari was playing with Regina, you know that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. But that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, a long time.
He can't be that young then.
I think he's 24, 25.
Yeah, he's young.
Well, there was a rumor. The reason we're saying that for those that haven't seen, there's a rumor that Juventus is interested in 2 potential goalies, either him or Carnesecchi, right?
Yeah, which would be great.
And I would take either of them, yeah.
100%. Which Carnesecchi had a shutout against Udinese. They tied 0-0. Carnesecchi made some saves. So did Silvestri on the other end, but it wasn't really a thrilling game.
Listen, if I was them, that's what I would do. I would sell, but get whatever money you can for Szczesny, leave Perrin, and bring in one. You don't even need Perrin if you bring Vicario in, but if you bring in Carnesecchi, let him back to Perrin for a year.
But Perrin has come to the fact that he's a backup and he doesn't mind it. So I
don't think he's a backup necessarily.
No, he used to be. I want to play, and now he's like, no, I'll be the backup. It's fine.
Because he wants to stay on Juventus for 10 years.
Yeah, I think he's fine with that. Yeah,
and he's getting paid. He doesn't care.
Perrin, he used to.
Perrin, what is 30 years old?
No,
is he 30?
He's not that old. I don't think.
I think he's fine where he's at, and he's happy with it. So
No,
He's good.
because
He's good.
you know what? Because he's up where he is. Juventus, he plays game too.
yeah,
It's not he didn't make him play.
Well,
As
he
a matter
played
of
more
fact,
because Chesney was hurt.
Wednesday or Tuesday when we played PSG, I think he played.
He's 29.
probably. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he play on
29.
Yeah.
Chris, go
let's
ahead.
see. So you said Cremonese Udinese was a tie,
Yeah,
0-0. Fiorentina beat Spezia 2-1.
yeah. They scored. Cabral scored in like the 90th minute to get the win for Fiorentina.
I saw Spezia had a nasty red card.
Wait, what was that? I saw there was like 3 red cards this weekend, and I didn't agree with a few of them.
This one was like studs up into Cabral's ankle. It was pretty bad.
Oh yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah.
That was like the 70th minute or something around
I
there.
saw Contreras' goal. It was pretty nice. It was okay.
It was nice. It was
It
nice.
was a vibe. The goalie was way out.
What about the touch to drop the ball right in front of him?
I mean, that's not that hard to do.
Okay, for you. Let's see what else.
A goal like that, that period, the one without a stop, it's shame.
Yeah, yeah. So he did.
I get it. He was
With
one
the
of the best.
Fiorentina. Shame.
There was 2 games today. Rome beat Verona 3-1.
Which they had they were down 1-0. Davidovic scored, and
There was
then
another red card.
he got a red card. I didn't think that one was a red card.
It was pretty nasty.
I
It
didn't
was
think
the
it was a red
studs
card.
again. It was
So yeah, Rome's up to 11 versus 10, and then they scored.
Yeah, but he
3
can
goals.
do. He wasn't that really.
I don't think that wasn't a red card to me.
I think it was.
I think they give red cards out way too easy now.
Yeah, I think they do too.
Well, it's because they
Every
can
time there's a
review
red
it
card,
now.
they ask you guys, I'm like, is that a red? And you're like, yeah.
Well, this one I'm
Like,
saying
what was the
wasn't
one
red.
what was the one? I don't even remember what game it was, but they gave someone a red card for the kick in the face. It was just a dangerous kick.
I will tell you the play that Illing Jr. got hurt on. That
that
was
was a
a red
red
card to me.
That was a red card.
I don't
Not-
even remember.
not
I
to
don't
me.
remember it.
I mean, when they went straight for his ankle.
No, that was a red
That
card.
was a red card to me, and they didn't call it. They didn't even review it. They didn't even. I don't think they give a yellow card.
I don't think VAR works Juventus games unless it's against Juventus.
And then Chris, what was the last game?
Last game was today. Bologna beat Monza 2-1.
I will say I didn't watch a second of this, but the big news out of Monza was that Mari got stabbed this weekend. There was a stabbing. There was a stabbing in Italy, and he went in the hospital and had surgery. He's fine, but that's.
He was like, what? There was like 6 people or something?
I think there was like 6 or 7 people that got stabbed, and he was one of them.
Hey, one person was killed.
They
Oh,
tried
really?
to postpone the game, and they refused. They didn't let
Yeah, they wouldn't let him postpone it. So all the players,
Who wouldn't let him?
the league.
the league, Monza tried to.
They postpone it for everything, and they can't postpone it for that. That's
World
pretty
Cup's
bad,
coming,
That was
baby.
4 days.
The World Cup's coming. They gotta get these games in.
4
Yeah,
days.
that's
That was
bullshit,
4
though.
days.
That is bullshit. Because if that was a big team, they would have let him do it.
100%.
Because it's Monza, they're like, whatever.
Yeah, all the players were wearing his jersey in the warm up and everything, but he's doing okay.
So what caused the stabbing? Like, what was?
I don't know, Frank, I don't watch the Italian news.
Psychopath.
The guy is crazy.
There was one guy stabbed 6 people.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, which is it's crazy.
Do you want to go to the table?
Yeah, go ahead. Read the table because there was some moves actually.
Yeah. Top 4, we got Napoli 32, Atalanta 27, Milan 26, Rome with 25, followed by Lazio and Inter with 24, Juventus 22, and Udinese with 22.
Juventus got that Conference League spot now. Euro
Yes, they do.
moving up.
Bottom 3, Samp, Verona, Cremonese, 6, 5, and 5.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing now is like you're seeing Udinese drop a little bit. You know, they've been losing points, and Salernitana and Torino, staying steady.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, do you want to go to our predictions, Chris?
Our predictions from last week. Let's see. Frank got 3 games correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
3. But so did Dan.
Oh, so did everybody? Is that what you're gonna say?
No, Dan got 3 correct as well. You both got the Napoli game right, Juventus game right, and Inter game right.
Yeah, not hard ones.
Exactly. I got the Napoli game right and the Inter game, the score correct. So we tied in points. And then Daddy just got the Juventus game right.
So basically, I didn't make up ground on anybody.
You didn't make up any ground other than on Daddy.
Yes.
So go ahead, Chris.
The totals are I got 27, Dan has 20, Daddy has 19, and Frank has 13.
All right. Well, it's a long season. I'm about to make a comeback.
We'll do some picks, I guess, for the World Cup in the break. Right?
Oh yeah. Why the hell
Well,
not?
that'll be fun too, you know.
I'm picking any team that doesn't have a Juventus player on it.
I think they'll play better than for Juventus.
That's the thing. Like, no, Italy.
Kostic and Flowers, they're very good with that team.
Yeah.
Having no rooting interest in the World Cup, then
Isn't Vlahovic hurt though?
He's fine. He's getting ready for the World Cup.
He's like, screw you. Maybe Allegro get fired. I'm
No,
gonna take off.
now they said for Sunday for the Inter, maybe they hope Bremer's okay. Maybe.
Great.
It'll be nice to be able to root for individual players at the World Cup.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to be doing.
It's true.
For, who's playing who and all that. All right, do you want to do the picks for next week, Chris?
Yeah, let's rock this out.
I will read round 13's games, so try to pay attention. Udinese versus Lecce, Empoli versus Sassuolo, Salernitana versus Cremonese, Atalanta versus Napoli, which is I'm assuming we're going to pick, Milan versus Spezia, Bologna versus Torino, Monza versus Verona, Samp versus Fiorentina, Rome versus Lazio, which I'm sure the derby, we're going to pick that. And then Juventus versus Inter. So some good games.
Last week's games sucked. These games are good. There's 3 really, really good games.
Yeah, there's some hard ones.
All right, so let's start off with Atalanta Napoli. What do you guys got?
So this is 1 versus 2.
Yeah, I got Napoli 3-1 on the road, beating Atalanta.
With their midweek game.
Yep.
Against Liverpool.
They're too good.
Frank, what do you say?
2-2.
He always picks the 2-2 draw.
I'm going to say 2-1 Napoli.
I'm going to say 3-1 Napoli.
Okay. The next game we're definitely going to pick is Rome versus Lazio.
Yeah, so no Milinkovic-Savic because he got that stupid yellow card that he didn't really deserve.
Is Dybala playing?
Dybala's not playing. No. Rome is technically the home team.
This is a tough one.
These are the 2 teams.
I say 2-1 Lazio.
These are the 2 teams, Chris, that we said at the beginning of the season.
2-1 Lazio.
Who finishes higher? And we still don't know.
It's tough. It's really tough.
I'm going to say 1-1.
These games are never more than – it seems like they're never more than a 1-goal game. But usually I usually pick draws when it's these kind of derbies. So I'm going to say 2-2.
That's what I was going to say, 2-2. I want to pick a winner, but I don't know which team to pick, so I'm just going to say tie.
If it was 2, maybe like a month ago, I would have said I hate Lazio so much. Yeah. I would have definitely picked Rome, but I can't even hate on them. Like
I pick Lazio this time. 2-1.
Yeah, they're playing well.
Yeah, like I can't hate on them anymore. They've shown me they're good.
Yeah. The third game we're going to pick is definitely Juventus versus Inter. I'll go first. Juventus is home. 4-1 Inter.
What?
4-1 Inter.
4-1
Inter.
That's awesome.
2-1 Juventus.
Shocker. He picked Juventus.
2-1 Juventus.
I'm going to be more realistic and I'm going to say 2-1 Inter. I'm not going to say 4-1, but I'm going to say 2-1. Inter's playing well. They're playing really good.
I think this game is not close, by the way. I'm not being sarcastic.
No, but you can't say that in a derby like this. It's always close.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say 2-1 Inter.
Okay. You're gonna get a good game out of Juventus. You're not gonna get a shit game out of it.
I think even a good game. Well, the only if he ends up playing a bunch of young kids, then maybe Juventus wins. But
okay.
No, I mean I don't think they're gonna win. I just think that they're gonna have a really good effort because they know it's Inter. You know.
I think there's a good chance they lose 2 out of the next 3 games going into the World Cup break.
Oh, I think there's a good chance they lose all 3.
Yeah. What's the 4th game you guys want to pick?
Cremonese Salernitana or Empoli Sassuolo? Monza Verona?
No, what the fuck?
I mean, we don't have to pick one.
No, we had to pick one.
We have to.
Let's do Empoli Sassuolo.
Yeah.
All right. Empoli's home. I'm gonna say.
You know me, Vicario. So 2-1, 2-1 Empoli.
Really?
Yep.
I don't
like Sassuolo.
I'm gonna say 1-1.
2-2 for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 2-2.
Okay.
All right. Well, so we got the midweek games that don't really mean much other than for Milan, and then really good games this weekend. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add for tonight?
Yes, really quickly. Can I get a score prediction on Juventus PSG? Not that we're counting this, but what do you think the score is of Juventus PSG this week?
Well, this game
who do we know who's playing?
I have no idea, Frankie. I listed 12 people.
Because here's what I'll say: if the young kids play, we'll give it a good effort, and we'll lose, but it'll be close. If the older guys play, we lose by 4 or more.
Honest question: does this game mean anything to PSG?
No.
For seeding or anything?
Not really, right? They like Benfica can't pass them, right?
I don't think so. I don't know 100%, but.
So the game doesn't mean anything for them. Juventus wants to be Europa League, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You think they want it, yeah. Come on, give me a score.
I could see them winning.
I
I'll say 1-1 tie.
3-1 PC.
1-1 tie.
1-1 tie? What are you smoking?
3-1 PC.
Yeah.
I say 3-1 sounds about right.
Wow, I didn't know that I would go with the most, 4-0. I thought you guys would be more drastic than that, but I'm saying 4-0.
I mean, look, I hope it's 7. if that's
lose by a touchdown.
If that's gonna get Allegri out,
it's not.
Let's make it 8. Let's make it 8.
That's why, whatever.
Well, okay. Let me ask you a question. If they lost, let's say 3-4-0 to PSG, lost to Inter,
then he's out.
Tie Verona 1-1, and then lose to Lazio before the World Cup break.
Yes, that is when, if there's a move going to happen, it's going to happen then.
So 1 point, 1 draw out of the next 4. Is he out definitely, or is they keeping him?
Yes, he's out.
I don't think he's gone. Personally, I've been saying it.
What do you think, Pa? If they
I think it could be a chance that they have another coach.
Who?
Montero even
before when at the start. But if he does a summer result, after result, he's going to end up to finish the year.
That's what I think too. That's why I made it extreme, right? Like lose 3 out of the next 4 with 1 tie. That's pretty bad.
That's pretty awful.
That means they now are not going to be 5 points behind second place. They're going to be 10.
But like you said, the funny thing is they're moving up in the standings.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, but these next couple games, these 3 games are important for them because, like, as bad as they played, if you go into the half, like the break, 4 or 5 points behind 2, like that's not that bad. The whole season's yet to play. If you're back by 10 or 11, you can mail it in. There's nothing left to really.
10, 11 with 2.
I mean, if they lost the next 3 games.
Well, if they lost, you see, if they lose the next 3 games, we're going to have Lazio up in front of us, Inter in front of us. So but Atalanta probably we out.
That's what I mean. These games are important.
Sure,
like,
they're important.
You can't you can't even 2 wins and 1 loss.
I think they'll sign on the dotted line.
It would sign for 2 wins and 1 loss. I think. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see how it goes this weekend. It should be a really good game.
As we are, right? I never understood. I have faith in Juventus.
Yeah, I mean they can always pull out the.
For one reason, because Juventus. Second reason is we can not do worse than that. Worse than that.
Yeah, maybe he'll surprise us.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week, Monday night, 9:00.
Allegri out.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Adios.
Good night. Take care, guys.